Welcome back to Simplify Adulting. And today we're going to talk about a question or comment I get from so many 20 somethings. And it has to do with balancing all the responsibilities. And it's the sense of like, how do I get all this done? Right? How do I get it all done? And if you're feeling that way, I know it's because you're not lazy. Typically, what it is about that we spend too much time doing the stuff that doesn't pay off. And that's why I want to talk to you about the 80-20 rule. And maybe you've heard of that about that, but I want to explain it a little bit more because if you can tap into the power of the 80-20 rule, boom, big impact, okay? So the 80-20 rule is also called the Pareto Perfect because it was an Italian economist with the last name Pareto that kind of discovered this. And I don't want you to get the wrong idea. It's not some math equation. It's more about a recognition of a pattern that the more they looked at it, the more it holds true in like every facet of life. And the 80-20 rule is that 20% of your action or activity generates 80% of the results, right? So when we're feeling tired and stressed and overwhelmed and like I have too much, imagine if we could take this 80-20 rule and use it to help us focus on the 20% of the things that are getting us 80% of the results that we want. Whew. Wow. Instead of doing all these 100% and maybe getting 80, a little bit more, wow, I could do 20. That sounds great. So the whole idea is here is that you can use this 80-20 rule to kind of take a look at what you're doing and figure out how you can go figure out what your 20% is. And you can use this both on kind of, I'll call it the good habits and the bad habits. So let's take some money. So for example, you could easily say that 20% of your spend causes 80% of your financial stress, right? That's the Pareto rule. So what that gives you the opportunity is to go in and say, what is this spend that causes me the stress? What is it that 20% of it? And you could say, oh, shoot, it's this, it's Amazon, it's this, like this is where my stress is coming from. So I'm going to watch these things, right? I'm going to be able to go in and say, okay, what 20% of my spend is giving 80%? Because that's the rule. It's going to be something like that. And on the flip side, you could say, what are the 20% of the actions I take that lead to my financial peace, right? So, hey, when I pay off debt, I feel so much less stressed. When I add everything extra to my debt, maybe when I set something aside in my emergency fund, those are the good habits that lead to the positive results you want. When I'm not conscious about what I'm spending and all of a sudden I don't know and I impulse buy, boom, there's my financial stress. And so it gives you a sense of, in the area of money, things that you should do more of and things that you can do less of. All right, so let's take this habit. So you could say, like, when I want to feel really energized and I want to feel good, right? Same rule applies. It means that 20% of your habits are driving 80% of you feeling great. And so if you think about it, and you probably, let's face it, it's probably sleep. If you sleep well, if you eat well, and you get a little movement and you don't doom scroll, chances are that's your 20% or something in there that if you just focus on doing those things, forget the detox cleanses, forget this supplement, forget this, whatever it is, you probably have 80% of your feeling energized and wellness covered. But on the flip side, if you're not sleeping well, you're not eating well, and you're on the phone, you're doom scrolling, guess what? That's probably the 20% that's leading to your burnout, right? And so now, this one really drives it home. If you think about it, we all have those few good friends that if we really think about it, we're like, these are the people in my life that make me feel great, right? I love these people, like amp up my happiness meter. These are my go-to. And then you think of that one friend that is just the drama magnet, right? The drama person. And you're like, oh my God, they cause me so much stress. And so it's the 80-20 rule, right? One person is driving the bulk of your unhappiness in your friendships, right? And so when you take this 80-20 rule, it allows you to focus and really go in and say, what are those 20% of things that get me the 80% of the results? And once you do that, then you can say, I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that. And you could say, oh, I'm going to do that a little bit more. I'm going to do that more often. Or I'm going to make sure I don't skip that, right? And so it really helps you prioritize how you spend your time. And it makes sure that that time you're spending is amping up the results you want. So there you go, the 80-20 rule. Learn it, and it is your superpower. Until I see you again, stay happy and healthy.